Students, in today's class, I'm going to introduce to you the concept of departmental accounts by looking at number one, the meaning and types of departments. Number two, advantages of departmental accounting. Number three, methods of departmental accounting. Number four, allocation and apportionment of expenses. And lastly, we are going to solve a practice question. Okay, so let's get started. All right, let's look at the meaning of departments. The meaning of departments. Okay, departments. All right, now let's take, for example, you have a business enterprise. Okay, let me use Fidel Group of School. Fidel Group of School. Okay, in Fidel Group of School, it is compartmentalized into two sections. Okay, one section deals with the primary pupils. Okay, the primary pupils, while the other section deals with the secondary students. Okay, so the part that deals with primary pupils is called departments. That's what we call departments. All right, then this also is called a department. All right, department. So what is a department? What is a department? It is nothing but a part of a business organization that deals with a particular area of operation or activities. Okay, that's what we call a department. All right, you may have a trading organization. All right, the trading organization can be compartmentalized into two. One, let's say the trading organization deals with the trading of clothing. So this we deal with children's wear. All right, that's the children's department. Then this we deal with the adults. So this department, say Department A and Department B. Department A, we deal with children's wear only, while Department B deals with. Okay, now what are the types of departments? Types of departments. Number one, we have independent departments. Okay, and dependent departments. Number two, dependent departments. So these are the two types of departments. Now the question is, what is independent department? That is department that stands on its own. Department that doesn't rely on other departments. That is independent department. The activity of, say, Department A is not affected by Department B. The activity of Department B is not affected by Department A. So they are independent on its own. So their activities is not affected by each other. Okay, that is independent department. But when you say dependent department, a dependent department is a department whose activity is affected by other departments. Okay, that is, in this kind of departments, goods are normally transferred from one department to another. So the goods, the finished goods here, may be a raw material, to Department B. So Department B will now complete the goods. Okay, complete the goods in terms of production. Are you with me now? That is what we call departments, dependent department. A department whose activity is affected by the other departments. That is dependent department. Write it down. A department whose activity is affected by the other department. Okay, they depend on the other department. All right. Now let's look at the advantages of departmental accounting. Advantages of departmental accounting. Number one, determination of profitable and unprofitable departments. Okay, so when you have departmentalization or departmental accounting, helps to determine the profitable and the unprofitable departments. That is one advantage. Number two, it helps to monitor the progress of each department. So departmental accounting helps to monitor the progress, the performance of each department. All right. Number three, the gross profits and net profits of each department can be ascertained. Okay, can be ascertained. All right. Number four, it helps to assess the performance of each departmental manager. So the performance of each departmental manager could be assessed. Okay, we know, that is, we know the manager that is doing his job. Okay, that is another advantage. The last advantage is it helps in formulating policy for the department policies, okay, based on the results of each department. So students should take note of that. Please write it down. Determination of profitable and unprofitable departments. It helps to monitor the progress or the performance of each department. Okay. Then the gross profits and the net profits of each department can be ascertained. All right. Then it helps to assess the performance of each departmental manager. And lastly, it helps in formulating policies for the departments. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's look at the method of departmental accounting. Students should take note of that. Number one, we have the single bookkeeping method. And number two, we have the separate bookkeeping method. Okay. Now, what is single bookkeeping method? It is a method where, all accounts of all departments, all departments are kept in one book. Okay, write it down. It is where the account of all the departments are kept in one book. That is single bookkeeping system. Okay, or we can use separate bookkeeping system. Okay, this is where the account books of each department are kept separately. The account book of each department are kept separately. So when you have accounts, Department A, Department B, and C, we have their own book. These also have its own book, account book. Then they are kept separately. But in single bookkeeping, when you have A, B, and C, so we have single book. Single book is kept. Okay. Single book, okay, is kept for A, B, and C. That's single book. Or we have separate books. So you can use this system, can be adopted. Where you have Department A, B, and C, we use the separate book of accounts. Hope you comprehend. So students should take note of that. So I may ask you to explain the methods of departmental accounting. So there are basically two methods, like I said: single bookkeeping, where single book, account book, is kept for all the departments, okay, all the departments, and separate bookkeeping system, okay, separate bookkeeping system. That is where different books of accounts is kept, separate books of accounts for the departments. Okay, class. So let's look at the basis of apportionment. Basis of apportionment. Okay. Before I explain the basis of apportionment, there is what we call allocation of expenses. Allocation of expenses. Okay. Then we also have apportionment of expenses. All right. You know, when you, especially a situation where we keep separate bookkeeping, all right, when we say allocation of expenses, that is when you charge the whole item of expenses to a particular department. That is when you talk of allocation. Let's say, for example, department A incur rents, and the rent belongs to department A. You now charge all the rents, say 500 naira, to department A. All right, because this rent has been incurred by department A. That is when you charge all the whole item of expenses to a department. That is allocation of expenses. But if you have department A and department B, and the annual rent, say, is 500, all right, so when you share this 500 between A and B, that is apportionment of expenses. But if you charge all this 500 to A only, you do not share it. It is not shared. It is known as allocation of expenses. Apportionment of expenses is when we share between the departments. You share expenses between departments, say A and B. Hope you understand that. All right. Now let's look at the basis of apportionment. For example, your parents may give you and your younger ones, let's say your brother, to share 5,000 naira. All right, to share 5,000 naira, and you can use the base. So on what basis are you going to share this? On what basis? Let's take, for example, you are 10 years old, then your brother says 5 years old. So you can use your age to share this. All right, you can use your age. Say you now say 10 all over 15 multiply by 5,000 all over 1. So this will be we go to you. Then for your brother, 5 all over 15 times 5,000 all over 1 we go to your brother. So you are using basis of apportionment. That is your age. The same thing is applicable for two departments. When you have a common expenses that belongs to all the departments, or that is incurred by all the departments. So let's take, for example, carriage inwards. So the basis of apportionment, you can use the purchases figure. Then rents and rates that is incurred by more than two departments, okay, or more than one department rather. We can use the floor area, okay. Then eating and lighting, okay. You can also use the floor area to share these expenses between departments, say A and B. All right. Depreciation that belongs to A and B, we can use the assets employed by each department. Then power, we can use the horsepower to share between A and B. Then salaries and wages, the number of staffs employed, can be used to share a common expenses. That's what we call apportionment of expenses. All right, apportionment of expenses. Hope you understand. So let us put this in practice. Let's consider a practice question. So let's look at this practice question. Look at this practice question. The purchases of departments are given as follows. Okay. Carriage inwards is 30,000. Rent and rate is 20,000 naira. Assuming the floor area are x 2 all over 5, for y is 1 all over 5, and for z is 2 all over 5. Use appropriate basis to apportion the expenses. Okay. Now, for carriage inward, the appropriate basis of apportionment is purchases. Then for rents and rates, the appropriate, basis of apportionment I've given you to be floor area. Is that clear? So you will be given in a question. So we want to share the carriage inward that is common to all the departments. The expenses is common to all the departments. Then for rent and rate, so you have to learn this before we solve the main question. All right. So let's go back to the question. So we have our solution to the question. Solution. Okay, class. All right. Now, what we want to do is you write apportionment. Take note, apportionment of expenses. That is what you want to do. Then you rule apportionment of expenses. All right. Now, to do that, between x and y, so we want to apportion the carriage inward. Okay, the carriage inward, we are using the purchases. So we are using the purchases to apportion that. Okay, so using the purchases, so you write the purchases basis. So for x, for y, and for z. So for x, we have 50, 70, and 90. So we have 50,000. We have 70,000. And for 90,000. That's a simple mathematics. So when you add this together, take your calculator. When you add this together, it's going to give you 210,000. So add. So this is the total. All right, class. Now the departments. Now, so department X, we collect. Will be charged 50,000 all over 210 times. What is the carriage inward? That's 30,000. All right, that's 30,000 equals to departments. So just write departments Y will be charged 70 all over 210. That's 70 all over 210. Students should take note of that. Times 30,000 all over 1. Then departments, okay, departments Z will be charged 90,000 all over 210,000 multiplied by 30,000 all over 1. Okay, so when you press your calculator, this will give you 7,143. Okay, department Y will give you 10,000. All right, naira. Then departments Z will give you 12,857. So by the time you add this, it must give you the 30,000. All right. So this is what we call apportionment of expenses. We have been able to apportion, okay, the 30,000 naira, this 30,000 naira, between amongst the three departments. Okay, that is apportionment of expenses. This 30,000 naira is common to all these departments, so you should take note of that. So this is A part, this is A part. So for B part, what does B part says? The B part says that rent and rates, okay, and the basis of apportionment for rent and rate is floor area. Floor what? Area, okay, and you have been given for X, for Y and Z. So using the floor area basis, so you write our basis is floor area basis, okay. So for X, what do you have? 2 all over 5, 2 all over 5 multiplied by, so what's the expenses we want to share? That's 20,000. So we have 20,000 all over 1, okay, X, that is department X. Then for department Y, so department Y is 1 all over 5, 1 all over 5 multiplied by 20,000 all over 1, okay. Then for department Z, so we have a 2 all over 5, okay, that's 2 over 5 multiplied by 20,000 over 1. Then this, when you use your calculator to manipulate this, it's going to give you 8,000 naira. If you manipulate this, this will give you 4,000 naira. So this will give you how much? 8,000 naira. So by the time you add this, I believe it should give you the 20,000. So it has been shared among the three departments, okay. So this is what we call allocation of overheads, okay. So you can send your question. If you have any question, please send it to the Prodigy, okay. I will answer the question. So in the next class, we are going to continue in the next class. So far we have been able to look at the meaning of departments, the types of departments, the methods of departmental accounting system, okay, then apportionment of expenses. So this is examples of apportionment of expenses. So this will be one of the workings in the main question, how to prepare, that is preparation of departmental accounts. All right, hope you understand. If you do, thank you. Don't forget, always remain safe. Bye.